أعوذ بالله الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. So last week we had started talking about job analysis and we had covered half the lesson. So we had defined, we had already talked about why job analysis is important, information generated by job analysis, definition of job analysis. We define what job analysis is, features of job analysis. We define all these terms. I think this is where we stopped about the job analysis information hierarchy. So we define all these terms and what their meanings are. So these are still the same thing when you're talking about the importance of what? The important terms in job analysis. So in our lesson today, we shall start by talking about the goals of job analysis. That is al-ahdaf al-tahlil al-wadha'if. What are the goals? So they are telling us the initial objective of a job analysis is to decide whether the job and the study is really required for the organization. So when we are doing a job analysis, the question that always comes into our mind is this job really required in our organization? Because we normally have our organization, and in our organization, we have many jobs. So job analysis normally helps us to find an answer to this question. That is, do we really need this kind of job in our organization? So the remaining purposes of job analysis come into the picture only when it is confirmed that the continuation of the job is essential. So the first thing in job analysis is we normally ask ourselves, do we need this job? If the answer is yes, then we continue to the next step. But if the answer is no, then there is no need for job analysis. Overall, a job analysis seeks to gather information about the job under two broad categories. These are, so when we are doing a job analysis, we always want to get two classes of information. Number one is what? The primary job requirements. And number two, job-related knowledge, skills, and abilities requirements. So under the primary job requirement category, a job analysis aims at gathering information related to the context, condition, duties, and responsibility of the job. So that is the first class of information that the job analysis will provide us with. What are the requirements of this job? For example, if the job is that of teaching, then what are the requirements of being a teacher? What are the duties of a teacher? What are the working conditions of the teacher? What are the responsibilities of a teacher? So that is number one. Number two, with regard to the knowledge, skills, and attitude, the KSA means knowledge, skills, and attitude category. Job analysis gathers the necessary information for determining the extent of knowledge, skills, and abilities required for a person to meet the job requirement completely and to perform the job successfully. So when you are doing a job analysis, there are two kinds of information that you are going to get. Number one is the information related to the responsibility of the job, the context of the job, the conditions of the job. Then on the flip side, it is information related to the knowledge. For example, as a teacher, what knowledge should you have? You need to have a degree. What skills do you need to have? For example, you have to be good in communication. What kind of attitudes? You need to have a very good positive attitude when you're a teacher. So the job analysis is going to help us to do what? To get this information. Now, so when you are doing a job analysis, this is what you are going to get. So from job analysis, there is the job description. This job description is what you are talking about, the primary job requirement. This is the job description. Then number two, the job specification. The job specification is all about the knowledge, the skills, and the attitude required to perfectly or efficiently do a job. Now, when we are doing a job analysis has a lot of uses. So we can use job analysis for HR planning. We can use job analysis for recruitment and selection, training and development, job evaluation, remuneration. Remuneration means employee motivation, performance appraisal, personal information, safety and health. So all these are the uses of what? These are the uses of job analysis. So we shall be discussing about this one by one. The use, how does job analysis help in HR planning, for example? So number one, the uses of job analysis. Job analysis help us, number one, in job evaluation. تقييم الوظائف. So job evaluation is actually a system of ranking jobs in a firm on the basis of their relevant characteristics, duties, and responsibilities. The primary objective of undertaking job evaluation is to measure the relative worth of the job to an organization. So number one, job analysis is going to help us to evaluate. In many organizations, if you go, jobs are ranked. So you have job group A, job group B, job group C, job group D, for example. So you find, for example, job group A requires some set of skills and knowledge. Job group B, the same, job group C, and job group D. And even sometimes you find that somebody in job group A will get a high salary. Why? Because the responsibilities are many. Then somebody in job group D will actually not get a lot of salary because the job there does not require, the job does not involve, it doesn't have a lot of tasks, a lot of responsibilities. So number one, job analysis is going to help us to group. It's going to help us to rank the jobs in a firm. Now, number two is job design and redesign. So job design is the process of bringing together different tasks to build a job. So when you're talking about job redesign, is doing what? We are bringing tasks together to build a job. So the process of designing a job is often influenced by job requirements, employee satisfaction, and organizational goal. So a job is designed when it is introduced for the first time and redesigned when it is replaced with new jobs. So here they're giving us the difference. In an exam, you can be asked to give the difference between what? The difference between job design and job redesign. So what is the difference? So number one is that job design is when the job is introduced in the organization for the first time. Now, redesign is when the job is replaced. Okay? And you find that the job is completely replaced with another person. The job does not exist at all. So it has been replaced with another new job. Now, job classification, this is what I was also saying. So job classification means what? Grouping types of work on the basis of their similarity. In an organization, sometimes you find some tasks, some jobs, they are the same. They require the same skills, they require the same attitude, they require the same knowledge. So we put them together. Also, there are some jobs, there are some jobs that are almost the same. So these jobs we classify, we put them together. So the basis for such grouping could be the level of difficulty. So when you are grouping these jobs, or when you are classifying this job, it is best we have easy jobs, simple jobs, complex jobs. So you have a classification of easy and difficult. Authority. So we classify these jobs according to who you are reporting to. So so you find that there is a group that is reporting to one person, they are in the same class. Another group of work they're reporting to another person, we classify them in such way. Responsibilities also and accountability of a job and the job holder's behavioral requirement. So now, what is the purpose of this classification? The purpose of classifying the job is to enable the firm to determine the level of skills required for each group of jobs. So when we are classifying the job into A, B, C, and D, it becomes very easy for the organization to actually identify. For example, class A group of jobs, this is the skill set. Class B group of job, this is the skill set, and so on and so forth. And also, as such, job classification enables the organization to identify a uniform procedure for selecting, training, and compensating. So, for example, if we have different group A, B, and C, so the recruitment for jobs in group A or class A will be the same because everything is similar. Their training will also be the same, and their salary will be the same. The same thing will happen to group B or class B. Their salary, their recruitment, their training will be the same. Why? Because the skills are the same, the capacity are the same, the knowledge is the same, the attitudes are the same. Okay, number 4. Another use of the job analysis is job description and job specification. We shall talk about these two in detail. So the last stage in the job analysis process is the preparation of two essential documents, job description and job specification. So the written statement of the findings of job analysis is called a job description. It provides information about job title and alternate titles, duties, authorities, responsibilities, accountabilities, reporting authority, relationship with other jobs, working condition, and job summary. So this is what I was telling you last week. When we are advertising any job, you will find that there is the job description. The job description is going to give us the job title. For example, we need an accountant. What are the duties of the accountant? What are the authorities of the accountant? What are the responsibilities? Who is the accountant going to report to? What is the relationship between the accountant and the other department? That is the job description. On the flip side, we have the job specification. This is a statement about the appropriate skill, knowledge, and qualification. So this is also we also find it in the word in when you are advertising for a job. What are the job specification? Number 1, what are the knowledge? For example, you need to have a degree, you need to have a master's. What are the qualifications? What are the skills you need to have? What are the training? What are the experience? إلى غير ذلك. So all this job specification is related to the person. It's related to the person who is doing the job. Now also, the job analysis will help us to human resource planning. So human resource planning is the process of focusing the human resource requirement of a firm and their availability, both within and outside the organization, to execute future corporate strategy. The purpose of HR planning is to choose the right person for the right job at the right cost. So the job analysis will basically help us in human resource planning. And remember, we said that human resource planning is all about, we are basically estimating what the demand of workers, for example, this year is 2025. How many workers shall we need in our organization? So that is the demand side. Then we have the supply side. Where are we going to find them? Sometimes it is inside the organization. Sometimes we can find them outside the organization. So the job analysis will help in that. Then number 6, the job analysis will help in recruitment and selection. So once there is a job vacancy in an organization can conduct a job analysis to determine whether that vacancy should be filled up or not. If the finding of the job analysis do not support the continuation of that job in the organization, the particular vacancy need not be filled up. On the other hand, if the job continues to be necessary, the organization may proceed with the process of recruitment and selection. In this case, job description and job specification usually form the basis for the recruitment strategy and selection process. So here they're basically telling us, most of the time you find that in our organization, we normally have vacancy. Some people normally leave their jobs because of different reasons. So when an employee leaves a vacant place or position, we normally ask ourselves a question as the organization. Should we fill this vacancy, or there is no need to fill this vacancy? So if the answer is no, so there is no need for job analysis. But if the answer is yes, we need to fill this job, then what are we going to do? We are going to do what is known as what? Job analysis. So we will have to advertise. And when you are advertising the job, remember we have the job specification and job description. Also, we need it in training and development. Job analysis help in training and development. So job analysis provides crucial input to an organization while determining the training needs of its employees. So job description and specification can provide exact information about the level of skills and knowledge required for a job. In the event of non-availability of people with the requisite skills at the end of the selection process, the organization can choose from the candidates available and train them to gain the necessary skills based on the job specification statement. So job analysis can help when it comes to training and development. Remember, the training and development, it assesses the needs of the workers, the training needs. So job description and job specification can tell us, for example, if this is, we are looking for a teacher, for example, job specification is going to help us to know the skills that the teacher should have. If the teacher has the skills, then that is okay. If the teacher does not have that skill, then the school will have to train the teacher. So job analysis help us in the training process. Number 9, performance evaluation, taqim al-ada. So performance evaluation is the process of determining the performance efficiency of the employees of an organization. It requires setting of what? It requires setting and so what we are basically saying actually when we are talking about, so I've sent the attendance, please, in your WhatsApp group. Can you please take it? I'm going to close it after 5 minutes from now. Ensure that you take the attendance. So when you're talking about the job analysis, we are basically saying the job analysis provides information for what? It provides information for training. Then number 9 is performance evaluation. So performance evaluation is the process of determining the performance efficiency of the employees of an organization. It requires setting of standards and evaluation criteria for each job before comparing them with the actual performance. So job analysis provides the required information about the duties, responsibility, and standards of the job. So when you are talking about performance evaluation, it is all about knowing or assessing the performance of each and every employee in our organization. So the job analysis helps in that it provides us with the job description. Remember, for example, this is Mohammed. What are the roles of Mohammed? So based on these roles and responsibility of Mohammed, we are going to evaluate Mohammed. At the end of the month, we shall ask Mohammed, you are supposed to do A, B, C, and D. You only did A and B. What about C and D? So job analysis is going to help us provide the what? Provide the roles and what? Responsibilities that we'll use in what? That we'll use in evaluating the what? In evaluating the performance. Wages and salary remuneration. Wages and salary administration. So the compensation package should reflect the worth of a job to the organization exactly. So job analysis helps the organization in determining the relative worth of each job. Remember, in an organization, we have different people working in different departments, and we have to pay them salary. But on what basis? How are we going to pay them salary? So the job analysis is going to help us to know. For example, those people in job group A, they have a lot of responsibility and their salaries have to be high. On the contrary, those in job group D, they don't have a lot of responsibility, so their salary has to be low. So job analysis can help us to know how much are we going to pay our workers. Then lastly, we have safety and health. Job analysis can provide exact information about the nature and type of work condition essential for an accident-free work environment. Remember, for each and every job, there is the working condition. So the job analysis is going to help us with this information. For example, if you are an accountant, then what is the favorable working condition? Which condition should the organization provide you with? For example, if you are a teller working in a bank, what working condition do you need? If you are a security guard, for example, what working condition do you need to enable you to do what? To perform your work effectively and efficiently. So what is going to happen is that the job what? The job analysis is going to provide us with all this information. Number 12, industrial relations. Industrial relation can be defined as any form of dealing between employers and employees based on employment. It explains the relationship between the management and the employees within the organizational setting. So job analysis, finding in the form of job description, enhance the objectivity in decision involving promotion, transfers, disciplinary action, compensation, and grievance handling. Thus, job analysis helps the organization in reducing the chances of friction with the unions and also in ensuring harmonious industrial relationships. Remember, in an organization, we have the employee and we have the employer. And most of the time, you find that the relationship between the employer and the employee, sometimes it's good, sometimes it is bad. So if we want this relationship to be good, then our job analysis should be very clear. For example, we are having organization A. And in organization A, we have different workers, and they're normally promoted. So for example, you have Mohammed and Yusuf. Mohammed has been promoted. On what basis? So Yusuf can ask, why is Mohammed being promoted and I am not being promoted? So the job analysis will provide an answer to this. Mohammed has been promoted because we evaluated his work, he's doing okay, but you, Yusuf, you are not doing okay. So there will be objectivity, there will be no subjectivity. Nobody is going to feel that, oh, the organization is being unfair. No, because everything is being clear. Why is Mohammed getting a lot of salary? Why is Yusuf not getting a lot of salary? Because Mohammed has a job description, his responsibilities are many, his what? His roles are many. That is why Mohammed is getting a lot of salary. Yusuf, we are not getting a lot of salary. Why? Because you don't have a lot of responsibility. So the job analysis will help us to create a harmonious environment in the organization. Then legal requirement. The job description statement is a vital document for an organization in legally and morally justifying its hiring practices, promotion policies, termination, disciplinary action, and grievance redressal procedures. In fact, it is a legal necessity for an organization to keep a job description statement for each position in the organization. Besides, a firm can use job analysis to clear ambiguities in the minds of employees about the rights and duties of an employee in a job and thereby prevent a possible legal problem in the future. So It is a legal necessity for all the organizations to have a job description for all the position in an organization. It is a requirement. But unfortunately, many organizations, what normally happens is the workers, they don't have a job description. So there is dhulm. Like Muhammad is required, do this, do this. Muhammad does not know what he needs to know to do. Muhammad does not know to whom is he reporting. This manager is telling Muhammad, do this. Another manager is telling Muhammad, do this. So Muhammad is very confused. People are exploiting Muhammad. People are using Muhammad. So the job description has to be there so that your employer cannot mistreat you. So you have the right to say, no, this is not my job. I cannot do it. This is my job description. So if you're working in any organization, always ask for your job description. Don't just blindly sign a contract, start working without knowing what you are expected to do. To whom are you reporting? What are your responsibilities? So it is very dangerous. And many cases in courts arise because the job description is not clear, or even worse, it's not there. Now, on to the next thing. Now, when we are talking about the job analysis is a process. When we want to have a very good job analysis, then it is a process. It involves 6 things. Number 1, determining the purpose of job analysis. Number 2, gathering background information about the job. Number 3, choosing representative jobs for analysis, collecting relevant job information, reviewing the information gathered, then lastly, development of job description and job specification. So this is what is involved in what? In job ad. So number 1, let us start quickly. So number 1 is determining the purpose of job analysis. لماذا تحليل الوظائف? Do we need it? So the first step in the job analysis process is the determination of the end use of the job analysis. True, job analysis has relevance for almost all HR activities of an organization. However, an organization may conduct a job analysis for a specific purpose, like hiring the employees or determining their remuneration. Depending upon the purpose of the analysis, the organization may focus specifically on certain aspects of the jobs that are considered important. So number 1, we need to ask ourselves, what is the objective of the job analysis? Are we doing it because of training? Are we doing it because of performance evaluation? Are we doing it because of human resource planning? So al-hadaf lazim an takun or yakun wadih. Number 2, okay, once we know our objective, then we start gathering background information about the job. So it is essential for an organization to review the background information about the job to know its relative importance in the organization. So an organization has to collect information to know, is this job really important? How is it important in our organization? If we don't have this position in the organization, shall we succeed or we won't succeed? Then choosing representative jobs for analysis. So after gathering the relevant background information, organizations choose only a few jobs for analysis instead of analyzing all of them. This is done because many jobs are similar in nature and have similar characteristics. So in an organization, we cannot start analyzing all the jobs in any organization. Why? Somebody can ask why. And the answer is we don't have enough resources to analyze all the jobs, because job analysis requires us to bring an expert from outside the organization to do what? It requires us to bring an expert outside the organization to do the analysis. We don't have the resources, we don't have the money, we don't have the time. And sometimes there are some jobs that are similar. So we don't want to do what? To repeat, or we don't want duplication. Then number 4, collecting relevant job information. In this step, information pertaining to various aspects of the job is collected. Specifically, the information about the duties, level of responsibility, authority, accountability, content and context of the job, desired employee behavior, critical knowledge skills and abilities, and training requirements are gathered. So once we choose a specific job, then we collect relevant job information. For example, if we decide that we are going to choose the position of an accountant for analysis, so collecting relevant job information. For example, what is the knowledge for this position? An accountant, what should the accountant have? What is the qualification? What are the skills? What are the working conditions? What are the tasks? Everything that is related to the job. Then, number 5, reviewing the information gathered. At this stage, the collected data is carefully analyzed, and then a job analysis report is prepared for the job being reviewed. Generally, the specific job holders and the immediate supervisors are included in such an analysis process. So after we do what? After we analyze or we collect relevant job information, the next thing is reviewing. And in this revision, there is always a report that is prepared, So we review the report that we generated from the previous stage. Then lastly, we develop a job description and job specification. Now, this is the most important thing in job analysis. The end result is the job description and the job specification. So what is job description? Job description is a written statement containing information about the duties, responsibilities, accountabilities, working conditions, and risk associated with the job. Briefly, it is a summary of the various features of a job. When you're advertising any job, we normally have the job description, which tells us the roles of the job, the responsibilities, the reporting, Then number 2, job specification. And this is a statement that provides information from the job holder's perspective. So job description is about the job itself. Job specification is about the holder of that position. What kind of knowledge should the holder have? What kind of skills should the holder have? What kind of experience should the holder have? So that is it. So the job analysis, the end result is this job description and the job specification. And this is what you were just talking about. These are the roles. So the job analysis help us in what? In human resource planning, recruitment, Now, when we're talking about job description, it's very important. Like in any organization, we normally have jobs, and I think you've come across many advertisements. So I need you to be very keen in any kind of job advertisement, because in any job advertisement, you'll always find the job description and the job specification. So for example, in the first advertisement, there is the role duties. The duties, this is the job description. Managing entire event, ensuring top-tier customer, participating in a skills and requirement, this is the word. This is the job specification. Then the second advertisement, we have the same, it's very detailed. The position, the department, the eligibility. Eligibility is the job specification. Then the key responsibility, these are the what? The key responsibilities, these are the job description. Al-maham, al-wada'if, ila ghayri dhalik. Again, this is also an example of another job advertisement. So in any job advertisement, you'll always see we have the job description, maintain and update students' records, generate and manage exam attendance. Then we have the qualification is the what? Qualification is the job word, the job specification. The person should have 2 years of experience, proficient in MS Office, the same thing here. We have the responsibility and we have the requirement. The requirement and the experience, these two together, they're known as job specification because they are related to the holder of the job. And we have another one here. So all of these job advertisement, so qualification is the job specification, what the holder of the job should have. Responsibility, job description. So This is what is known as the job description and the job space, and they're very important in any organization, especially when it comes to recruitment and selection. So now let us look in detail. What is job description? So job description is a written statement, as we saw earlier. It's a written statement that describes all the aspects of a job. You know, it ends at simplifying and standardizing the HR activities of an organization. It also enables the employees to understand clearly what is expected of them in their jobs. So we'll go for a break. We are going to have a short break, only 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. We shall continue after the break. But before the break, the job description helps the workers in an organization to know what is expected from them. It contains both organizational information, structure, relationship, to name a few, and functional information. So a good job description will always have the organizational information. For example, let us look at this, for example. This Thika School of Medical and Health Sciences. This is the organizational information. You know? So job description will always have this one, central